G'day and welcome back to another day in Bowler's backyard. I've already been out there and mowed and whippersnipped the lawn, so it's been a big day already, but we've still got plenty going on. I want to change out the fruit tree garden edging from what the current plastic edging is to a Temu metal, rusted metal looking sheet metal. Now I've heard some horror stories about it if it's too thin when you step on it or your pets step on it, it cuts their feet, so I need to check and make sure it's not too thin. But I also want to plant some carrots that Kimberly suggested in the previous video, so I'm going to plant some carrots in that ground level garden bed, and so I'll give you a bit of a review on the sheet metal edging from Temu, because it was the cheapest that I could find. You do find that they get very expensive, and also what could potentially be a catastrophic loss of my potato harvest. I may have ruined it and lost the whole lot, so stick around as well for that to see what I did and if I can salvage any of the harvest. So anyway, before I do any of that, I might have to set up the water jumping castle for the kids, because it is 30 degrees Celsius out here, which is this many Fahrenheit, so it is hot. And I'm going to set up the water castle for the kids, and then we're going to get to work, so let's go. And a quick shout out to today's flannelette shirt. This is my Dear Poppy Bowlers flannelette shirt, so it's a bit thinner and because it is hot, so I'm going to pop the collar. I've already got a sunburnt neck through this sunscreen, so Poppy Bowlers flannelette I'm sporting today with a popped collar, so I look cool. It's alive! How cool are these things? That's crazy. You never had these things back in my day. All done? So the first thing we're going to do is remove all the mesh, remove the plastic edging that we've got currently, and then I'll measure what length I need, which is 2 pi r, I'm pretty sure, and that will give me the circumference of the circle that I want to measure. You don't have to do that, you can just measure it with a tape measure. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to start pulling it apart, and then I'm going to just do one tree. I don't think I'll have time to do all of them, so I'll do one tree today, rip it all out, put in the new metal, and then we'll go from there. This mesh is purely to keep the chickens out. Whenever I put any mulch in there, which is usually just grass clippings, the chickens get in there straight away and just kick it all out, and dry as a bone underneath the tree. So I'll put the mesh here on all the fruit trees to stop the chickens from getting in. So to work out the length that you need to cut the sheet at, you just need to work out the circumference of this circle, which is 2 pi r, which is radius, which is half the diameter. So you measure the diameter, which is 780, divide that by 2 is 350, 390, and then we'll do 2 times pi times that. So that equals 2450, and that's what you cut your sheet at, 2 meters, 45 centimeters. I'm just going to pull this out and then we'll go cut it. I forgot, I put tent pegs in it. I'm gonna have to do a bit more work. Geez, I hope I didn't put too many of them in. That's annoying. I put 4 in there. Oh well. That's pretty cool. It actually has been lipped over the top and the bottom, so that's not sharp at all. That's going to be perfect. It is very thin and bendy, so but I'm going to bury it probably most of the way under. Probably a good 150 mil under the dirt, so it's only got 20 mil on the top. I can whip a snip up to it, but at least most of the metal is underneath the ground, and if someone steps on it, it's not going to cut them. That's pretty cool. I like that. So measure out 2 meters and 45. Now that's an arbitrary number. You can make it as big or as little as you want. I kind of like that distance, so I'm just going to do it again. So I'm going to measure that. 2 meters, 45. Perfect. Just go dig it in. Look, it wouldn't be a bowler's backyard video without making a mistake. At least I'm honest. Instead of cutting that at 2450, I cut that at 2045. Oh well, looks like they're all going to be 2045. These bigger trees, like the apple, lemon and orange, they've got roots going all the way through, so I've got to chop a bit of them up. Hope it doesn't hurt the tree too much. They're pretty resilient, so I'll chop through a bunch. I'll see if it fits. Looks pretty good to me. Fill that in, I reckon that'll be right. So next thing I'll do is cut a bit of mesh that's like perfect to that size and put it over the top so the chooks can't get it. But that's about 25-30 mil above the soil. Now the grass is going to grow up to that and come up a little bit. That'll be perfect. I'm gonna have to like water it in and compact it in because at the moment it's still very flimsy. But once it all gets compacted, it should be sweet. What do you reckon? Right, just to make it stay still and not move around, I've put 2 little tech screws right at the joint. So it's overlapping probably 100 mil. So a little bit smaller than what I cut it, but that looks really nice. So the next thing we're going to do is go plant some carrots in the garden where we took all the dill plants out. That was Kimberly's suggestion, so that's what we're going to do. We'll go and get my little trusty leather bound book and plant some Kimbo's carrots. First I'll get some soil out of the back. I've got the trailer with a bit of soil in the back. I want to empty that so I can use it as taking stuff out of the tip. And then we'll get some homemade compost that's been there for like 12 months. And then we'll zhuzh up the soil and plant a bunch of rows of Kimbo's carrots. Get some of this beautiful compost. Beautiful. Yummy. Now, I'm not going to do the whole bed. I'm probably going to do half, make probably 3 or 4 rows, just have them all as carrots because that's a lot. And there's a couple of things popping up here and there, like the bok choy just popping up randomly. So I might even plant a couple of bok choy. Still pretty hot, but hey, I might do it. But right now I'm just going to do half, turn the soil, just get it nice and fluffy, chuck all this stuff on top. Go from there. Now, give me a sec. Now, I know there are a lot of people that do no-till. They don't like turning the soil, and I can understand the benefits. It keeps all the nutrients inside and doesn't dry it out too much, but pretty high clay in this. So I'm going to turn it chuck the fresh soil in there, chuck the compost in there. So then when the carrots are growing, they've got plenty to go down into, and they don't turn into big bulbous things with lots of arms. So I'm just turning it, fluffing it up, putting the fresh stuff in there. Anyway. Ooh. Now, I have many leather-bound books, but the most important one is this little present that my wife got me. Little leather-bound book. It has heaps of plastic sheets and heaps of these little paper envelopes, and inside it you put your own seeds. And so in this, I've got coloured carrots and I've got orange carrots. So I'm going to plant both of these, one row each, in Kimbo's carrot patch. Let's go. I've got heaps, so I don't need to be conservative. So I mean, right then, I planted a lot more carrot seeds than I needed to. One of the mistakes I did last time in the raised bed was I didn't thin them out well enough. And if you have 3 or 4 of them growing really close together, they get tangled or they just bunch up and they don't grow much at all. So I'm happy to do it like that, and I'm just going to cover them all in. But when they start growing, if they're really close together, I'll thin them out really well. Let's cover them up. There you go, all the carrots seeded. I'm gonna water them in and put some mulch on the top of it, but there you go, Kimbo's carrot patch. I always get really nervous putting mulch on top of seeds. It's like, I always think they're not gonna be able to get through, but surely they do. I'll leave the gate open for 5 minutes. Geez, they're quick. Get out. Get out. Oh, 2 of them. God. Get out. 3 of them. Where did you even come from? Get out. Might have to get the dogs to get these out. Come on. Don't go in the carrot patch. I just planted them. Get out. Oh, here comes the dog. He's not going to make it easier. Come here, Archie. Go get him. No, Silky, don't. Go back. Good dog. Now it's time for the most devastating part of the video, the potatoes. So as you know, I hung them on the rack there to dry for a couple of hours. That was on Christmas Day. Well, I left them there. The next day, we went home to my parents' house for the weekend, for 2 days. We came back, and the following night, so maybe 3 or 4 days later, my wife then got them off the rack. And when the sun hits them, so in the afternoon sun, they go green. Now, I think they're salvageable, but they'll be very close. So after confiding in ChatGPT, when they start to go green, that is when they're exposed to light, that means they're starting to produce chlorophyll and also solanine, I think it said. So, and that can be a little bit toxic. So if it's a little bit green, you can peel it off and it should be fine on the inside. If it starts to taste bitter, then it's probably good to discard it. So I reckon they're good to go. We might have to eat them a bit quicker than normal. You might not be able to store them for a long time. So I might have to take some of these to family and friends. But look, I don't think they went too far. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I've not just stuffed this whole harvest. Ugh. Anyway, that's the end of today in Bola's backyard. We've gotten a fair bit done. We've watered everything in now. So we've got Kimbo's carrot patch. We've put the new edging on one of the fruit trees. And we have potentially saved all of these potatoes. I'm going to put them in these boxes, cover them up, and leave them in a nice, dark, cool place. I've got a question for someone out there who's a bit smarter than I am. I know you can put gypsum on the grass, on the soil, if it's really clay-like, to break it all down, and you do it like all the time and you keep putting gypsum on it. Is it safe to do that in the veggie garden, or is there a better method? What is the best method to get all the clay out of my veggie garden? Is it just to mulch? Is it to put a lot of compost on? Is it fertilizing? Or can it be gypsum? Let me know down in the comments what is the best way to get rid of all the clay in my veggie garden without making the soil not good to grow vegetables in. Anyway, that's another day in Bola's backyard. Thanks for tagging along, and I'm really excited to see how Kimbo's carrot patch goes. See you on the next one.